Hello, inspired learner, leader. Welcome to the Inspired Results Learning Lab. I thought I would just share a quick reflection on the vulnerability around making mistakes. As you saw last week, we were making mistakes as we were launching this new newsletter format and unleashing the Inspired Results Learning Lab. And, when you're doing new things and you're doing things fast, mistakes will happen. And it's all part of growing and changing. And yet we can be really hard on ourselves when mistakes happen. And so I got to practice that this week to be compassionate, to be empathetic, to not be reactive when mistakes happen. And when we own our mistakes, it feels vulnerable. It feels vulnerable to say, shoot, I made a mistake and take responsibility for it. And what I've learned over time is that the quicker I sort of take responsibility, self-regulate so that I am not in my amygdala and having a overly emotional response to the mistake. Once I take a breath, kind of put it in perspective, communicate the mistake, take responsibility for the mistake, it takes kind of all the heat out of it. We can really get in our heads and make a big story about the impact and implications of our mistakes. And yet making mistakes is part of being human, and it happens. Mistakes happen all the time because there are humans in organizations. There's humans behind these emails and websites making them happen. And thank goodness those humans, we are there being human at work. So if you find yourself making a mistake or have that lingering feeling of, oh, I made a mistake, but I didn't actually take ownership for it. I kind of hid from it because it felt very vulnerable to take responsibility. Please know that that responsibility, action, and owning your mistake is the freedom. It's vulnerable, it's uncomfortable, and then it sets you free from the yucky feelings we hold on to in those moments of being human and making a mistake. So encouraging you, make mistakes because that means you're innovating, you're growing, you're stretching yourself. We need to do that. And when mistakes happen, let's dust ourselves off, take responsibility, and move through it quicker. Let's not sit in the crappy stories we make up about mistakes. Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful week.